We've now entered the sixth month of the Iran war, and this is what Donald Trump is saying.
Estamos allí por 5 meses y si miras Vietnam, estuvieron allí por 20 años, si miras Afganistán, estuvieron allí por muchos años, si miras cualquiera de las guerras, Corea, cualquiera de ellas estuvieron allí por muchos años. Nosotros estamos por 5 meses y hemos destruido su capacidad militar.
So he wants the country to take heart that it's been only 6 months, but hey, Vietnam was 20. So we could go another 19 years and still be ahead of schedule according to Donald Trump. Of course, this was not what he was saying in the beginning of this war when he said this.
If you don't mind, una pequeña excursión
to take care of nuclear weaponry in the hands of maniacs.
Pero aparte de eso, en un par de semanas, no será mucho más, está avanzando rápido. Estamos muy adelantados en el cronograma.
Or when he said this.
Todo lo que tengo que hacer es salir de Irán y lo haremos muy pronto y ello caerá, dentro de 2 semanas, tal vez 2 semanas, tal vez 3.
Or when Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said this.
The only limit that we have in this son el deseo del presidente Trump de lograr efectos específicos en nombre del pueblo estadounidense. Y por eso no hablamos de, ya sabes, podemos decir 4 semanas, pero podrían ser 6, podrían ser 8, podrían ser 3. En última instancia, nosotros marcamos el ritmo y el tempo. El enemigo está desequilibrado y vamos a mantenerlo desequilibrado.
Early on they thought this would be easy, they thought we could use overwhelming military force, they thought this would be a one and done like Venezuela, except Iran is not Venezuela.
¿Y qué hay de ese memorando de entendimiento de 14 puntos y ese supuesto acuerdo de paz que se anunció en junio con todo ese bombo en el Palacio de Versalles?
Remember that total giveaway to Iran that would essentially impose no requirements on them, but give them relief from U.S. sanctions, that would release frozen Iranian funds, that called for a $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran, that suggested they can impose fees for ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. Remember that supposed deal? What happened to that? Well, this is what happened to that.
Señor presidente, ¿se ha terminado el alto el fuego? ¿Se ha terminado el alto el fuego? ¿Está muerto el memorando de entendimiento?
Para mí creo que se ha terminado.
This week they're saying there's a new deal in the offing. Is there really? Iran says there isn't. The president says there is. Of course, the president has been saying this for 6 months now. And part of the problem is, of course, he got into this war without a clear idea of what he wanted to achieve, what the strategic goals were, how the outcome was supposed to be brought about. But also it might have to do with the team he's got negotiating this, which includes the likes of a real estate guy named Steve Witkoff. It includes his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, because who could better negotiate an end to war than someone's son-in-law?
What is the status of talks? Who within the administration is talking to the Iranians?
Bueno, todos quieren hablar, pero rompen su palabra. Steve está hablando. Tenemos muy buena agenda. JD está involucrado, very strong involved. We have great people talking. Marco's involved.
Kushner, for his part, seems to be much more interested in some new money-making scheme with FIFA, of all organizations. Remember the really MAGA head of FIFA? Well, they're cooking up some plot to monetize FIFA in a way that will, yes, benefit the Trump family. So it's hard to compete for attention to the war when you've got so much else going on of a profit-making venture. And tragically, what's happening in the region is the war is expanding, not contracting. You're seeing new attacks on new countries. You're seeing other forces get involved in this war. So you've got the Houthis, who now want to try to close off shipping through the Red Sea. Because if you get the Strait of Hormuz closed and you choke off shipping trying to go a different way through the Red Sea, you can really play even more havoc with gas prices. So you've got the Houthis now lobbing projectiles at shipping in the Red Sea, and in fact hitting one ship and causing it to capsize. You also have Iran attacking for the first time Egypt. Egypt has now been on the receiving end of Iranian attacks. You've got attacks by Iran on Jordan. You have countries like Saudi Arabia forming coalitions to try to protect shipping in the Red Sea. You've got Iranian proxies in Iraq who are mounting attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq. The war has been tragically expanding because there was never a clear idea of how to conduct this war. You just had basically Pete Hegseth talking about how many military targets we were going to attack.
We know their ability to shoot versus our ability to defend. That difference gets wider and wider every day. Our defense gets better, their offensive capabilities diminish. As we are going into ammunitions that we, as we said, have tens of thousands of and can drop unlimited supplies on with even more effects than the standard ammunitions we have now, which is why when we say the throttle's going up, the throttle's going up and it's going to stay on high.
So what's the cost we're paying here at home for this ill-considered war choice by the president?
Well, the most tragic cost, of course, we have lost 18 service members who were courageously serving our country and were killed in this war. The president's response to that is to try to relabel some of those deaths as not connected to the war. That is not an answer for putting these service members at risk and for somehow trying to minimize the sacrifice of several of them. They are all patriots that are deserving of our great respect, and our hearts go out to their families. They are bearing the real and most painful brunt of this war. But ordinary Americans are also facing a price for this war that they did not sign up for. It's most visible, of course, in the prices of the pump. Gas prices have exploded. Gas prices have gone up to over $4 on average around the country in some states. Much higher. That is dramatically higher than when Donald Trump took office. Let's look at what Donald Trump just had to say about gas prices.
We control the strait totally through the blockade, but if we have no friction, then oil will go down to, I think it'll go down to $2.50 a gallon, $2.50. You know, it was down to $1.85 before I had to make this little journey to the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Gas was just $1.85 before he decided to go on this little Iranian excursion, when he decided to bring our country to war against Iran. But now we're paying over $4 a gallon, which is putting a real pressure, pain point on American families, particularly those that are dependent on transportation to get to their jobs or to do their jobs. But it's also detracting from a family's ability to afford taking their kids on a vacation. Of course, it's not just gas prices, the prices of everything have been going up as a result of this war. For example, farmers can't get fertilizer because one of the components goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And that means you're paying more at the grocery store because of the Iran war. You're paying more at the pump because of the Iran war. You're paying more at the grocery store because of the Iran war. And on top of the president's ill-considered tariffs, people just can't afford all of these added costs, particularly when this president promised during his campaign no more foreign wars and that he was going to bring prices down. And it's not just added costs. Iran is presumably behind attacks now on over a dozen states' water systems. So they're engaging in cyber attacks against water systems in American cities. This is another repercussion from this war. But the president says, don't worry about all of this. He's got plenty of time. You might not have plenty of time, but he's got plenty of time. Here he is.
Tengo mucho tiempo, ¿sabes? People talk about the midterms. De las elecciones de mitad de periodo. Para las elecciones de mitad de periodo quieren ver ganar. ¿Sabes? En Venezuela, la gente estaba tan en contra de lo que hice en Venezuela, duró un día, y ahora ellos, mira, estamos ganando cientos de miles de millones de dólares, y ellos también están obteniendo. Venezuela es como un lugar diferente, pero estamos sacando cientos de millones de dólares, ellos están sacando cientos de millones de dólares.
So I just like to know of these hundreds of billions of dollars that we've somehow extracted from Venezuela. Where's the money? Where's the money, Mr. President? Where are those hundreds of billions of dollars you say that we've obtained from Venezuela, presumably in the form of oil?
If we've got all that oil, why hasn't the price of oil gone down instead of up? If we've got all those billions, those hundreds of billions of dollars, why are you coming to Congress for Congress to appropriate $70 billion more for this Iran war? When presumably we wouldn't need it because we got that money from Venezuela. Of course, that's a load of BS. And this is part of the problem. The president says one thing, and you can't believe him. The Iranians say another thing, you certainly can't believe them. It leaves the American people not knowing who to believe. But tragically, one thing that many people now believe, and that is this war is already a strategic defeat for the United States. Many experts believe that the Strait of Hormuz is very unlikely to go back to the way it was before this war began. That is, Iran was in no position to charge any kind of fee or toll. Now that is an open question. What's more, the United States used its vast military power in Iran. It was not able to change the regime, and it may not even be able to keep the Strait of Hormuz open for traffic without paying a fee to the Iranians. That is a terrible strategic position for the United States of America. Yet it has told allies of ours around the world that America is a paper tiger. That is a terrible result, and yet this is where Donald Trump is driving this war and driving this country. It is time, it is past time, now in the 6th month of this war, to bring this war to an end. I brought the first War Powers resolution to stop this administration from using military force where it wasn't called for, like blowing up the ships in the Caribbean. I've offered resolutions to try to stop this Iran war, and I will continue to do so. Those resolutions have enjoyed bipartisan support, but not enough support to end this war. And if we're going to bring down costs for the American people, if we're going to protect our troops from further potential loss of life, if we're going to have a resolution of this conflict in which the country won't be mired in another endless war, we have got to bring it to an end. And we need to do so now.